on.
Hey guys, hello everyone, and good evening. I hope you're good. I'm a little late tonight because there is a reason for it. But first of all, hello everyone in the chat. I see Christoph, there's Manfred, hello. There's Thierry, Dieter, there is... did I miss anyone? I think there are some more, but I don't see the name. I hope you're good. I'm a little late because today's like a stream overkill for me. We just had I don't know how to say this in English. It's like Goldene Hochzeit. That is like when people are married for 50 years, and that was from my parents today, and we made like a Zoom with our whole family for that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Hey Mike, I hope my audio is cool tonight, and I hope my video is cool as well. Because I want to work on a little house track tonight. Can you give me short feedback, guys? Yeah, a glass of wine is always cool, but we had champagne before, so yeah. Can you give me a quick feedback of if audio is okay for you guys? And yeah, I hope you're good. I have a week off next week, so yeah, so that's the reason why it's another one tonight. Okay, so I'm going to work on a little house track tonight, and I want to show you something what I did. I'm working on a couple of tracks right now at the same time, which I normally don't do. But there is so much stuff going on that yeah, I don't know. I think you know this feeling. I told this to Christoph right before we had this call. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Hi, Mike. Hi, John. I can't pronounce it. Interference Fringe. Guten Abend. Hey, nice to see you guys. So tonight I want to work on a house track. And I don't know about you. I have a huge archive on my hard disk, and I have a lot of tracks made from previous eras, and I have a lot of tracks made in Ableton, for instance, and right now I'm transferring them to the Digitakt. I did this with one track, and I want to show you that, but I'm going to work on something else because this track is super different than what I usually do, and I just started working on this one. And I don't know about you, what you do with your tracks that you never finished, but you know that they were good. So this track is something I really would like to finish, but it doesn't fit into my current setup. So let me show you that. I hope you can hear it. Can you hear it? Yeah, old tracks, new sounds. Yeah, it really sucks, I think. It really sucks that there's so much work never finished. So, yeah, I started working on this, but oh, what happened? My Digitakt stopped working and I have no clue why. Okay. I'm gonna reload this project. That is strange. I think my audio interface just stopped working. Those live streams are always like, wow. Okay. Let's see if that works. Yeah. I don't know what happened. But you heard the track. Do you like that one? I'm not sure. It's like this kind of music seems to be so different. Normally, I'm not into melodic. But yeah, I think Thierry, you are right. It's far away from my usual style. And this track is samples only. So I took the track and I no, Mike, this is made in Ableton actually. And I took the track audio track by audio track, and I chopped out small samples with it. That is why I normally, when I produce my tracks on the Digitakt, you know that I only have one pattern and 8 tracks per song actually. This track, because there are so many samples forming the sections of the track, I'm using like a separate sound, a bank for it with at least 5 patterns. So yeah, I'm still not sure. I just wanted to show you this because I just put the samples on the Digitakt today. Maybe I'm going to rework this a little bit so it fits better into my regular setup. It's also like 75 BPM, which is completely not my speed. But I love this melody. Yeah, I think it's like melancholic guitar. I think you are right. And if you want to create like melodies like this, I did this with Captain Chords or Captain Melodies. I don't know if you know this plugin that gives you like a helping hand in creating chord progressions. And you can put like melodies on top, and you can put a chord progression, and you can put a bass line underneath, and then you get a really cool song structure, which you can edit and stuff. And this whole song I created using Captain plugins, so I can really recommend these. Yeah, maybe I'm going to create something different out of it. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm gonna put something with my usual style on it. So this is something I just wanted to show you. So Saturday will be my next jam on my YouTube, and for that one, I created a new song. Which I want to play a little bit with tonight. Because I haven't performed so much yet, and I spent a lot of time last night with this pattern. Yeah, you have it right. I was searching for... Hey, Ihor, nice seeing you. I was searching for other plugins like Captain Alternatives. And I think there is one, but I forgot the name. There are not so many plugins for that. And I think this is pretty cool if you don't want to use pre-made MIDI material if you're still into creating something on your own. And this is, I think, yeah, I tried this, Christoph. I tried to set the speed to 112 BPM, but then it's too fast. And yeah, it's something that I don't like with when you work with samples. You're fixed to one speed, actually, so I cannot time stretch the samples. But anyway, that is something you might hear in the future. This is something I'm currently working on, and I don't know if you heard this track Deeper. I posted that I think 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and I wanted to create something that I can use for a transition into the next track, so they have like the same mood or something. And I'm going to show you something. So that starts with a pad. I like that, actually. Put the speed to 112 BPM. This is a pad I found on Raw Sample Pack. I think it's the studio is called Raw Samples, which is cool. And then we have like something like this coming in. And this is a sample that is scanned with an LFO that scans through, and then it always plays a little different part. So this chord is moving. Thanks, Ihor. And then let's bring in some beats. Wow, there are 70 guys in the chat. Hello, everyone. I have a favor for those talking people. I actually don't care what they talk about. And this is a sample I downloaded from the NASA website. I think I used it for a different track. But they give the whole track something human, or can I say something human? I don't know. And I always use, in this track, I use this a lot. The sample is pretty long. And each time it's going to trigger, the LFO chooses a different piece of this.
Then we either call.
And then there is a second trick that brings in some noise. I will show you the tracks in a second. But what I wanted to do is, I wanted to create like a riser or something.
Criteria that I was a part of. Or we was a part of it. down our operation. Something unexpected then.
So something like that. Let me read what you were talking about. Deactivating the Digitakt or prepared in Ableton. You are talking about the previous track, Mike, I guess. I exported the loops. I exported them completely dry, so the effects are only Digitakt. I used effects in Ableton, but I made the effects in Digitakt only because I wanted to modify them with LFOs later on. Same question about the voice. What voice are you talking about, guys? Yeah, that's true. It's all about what you feel when you hear it. Yeah, that's really true. I think so. It's like, actually, when you're dancing or whatever, I think this kind of music, it's not for deep meanings in the. I think it's not really about a deep meaning in the voices, actually. But that's a cool tip for you guys. If you want to have like samples from space or people talking on phones or whatever, NASA has a pretty cool archive on SoundCloud, and they offer a lot of samples to download for free because it's like a creative. I think it's a creative license. No, what is its name again? My brain is washed tonight. But you can download and use it for free. And they have a lot of sounds like this that you can download. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's true. Bit reduction works as well, Christoph. And I usually use a lot of bit reduction in my tracks to create waves or whatever. Yeah, you're right. So I want to show you some of the tracks that I did with this one. I started actually with this pad because I just love pads. And this pad brings in, I didn't do that now in the performance before, but when I open the filter, it brings in some more frequencies in the top range. And I talked about this with the customer before today, that I don't know if you realize it, when you play a sound and then you add a filter, it completely changes the appearance from time to time because higher frequencies are cut off and then you get like different frequencies left, and that makes a completely different sound. And this is what it does with this pad. By adding a filter to it, I can completely change the appearance. I mean, this is not a surprise. Every filter does the same. But I liked it with this pad in particular. Then I have this sound, which is actually an ambient loop. Because I have an ambient texture pack, which is looped at 125 BPM. So I took some of these samples and I adjusted the speed to 112 BPM. And this is one of the loops which I thought when I was on the computer, which is cool. But when I heard it on the Digitakt, I thought this is boring. So I made something else with it. And this is a result. But the only trick it does is that it uses a couple of tricks that uses a different amplitude. So this one is super short, then I have a longer one, and then it's another longer one, and then this is a super short one. And that creates like a little rhythm. And what I do a lot is I fill the gaps with noises. I think this is a noise. Yeah, this is like a stylus from a record player. And it also uses the LFO, which gives it a different start time each time that it's going to trick. Creative Commons was the name. Thank you very much. That is true, yeah. I think they reduced the offer. I don't know why. I visited their page some days ago to grab some new material, and I realized that they don't offer that mass of samples anymore. But I think you can still find a lot of stuff there. They have radio shows which are not Creative Commons, I think. But they have samples or recordings from operators and stuff, which are really cool. If you like that stuff, it's really recommendable. Then the next track is the bass. And this bass is using super short tricks. And what I did is the bass line supports this chord because there's one long note on trick number 10, and the chord has a long note and on trick number 10 as well. And together it creates like a little call and answer game again. Then is the next that is the sample of this guy talking about outer space. I don't know.
Issue there, and time is.
And I added some reverb to this because this whole track doesn't use so much reverb. I think this is the only track using reverb, and this other one, which is my main element of this track, which I'm going to play around with. And what I did here is the track starts with a super short amplitude. And it plays two different steps. And what I do is I can play with two different parameters here. The first one is the length of these tricks. I think 5 is maximum. And then I can open up the filter. And I can add reverb as well, of course. And what I do is, what I forgot now, of course, because I always forget this when I'm performing, I save the pattern with the original state. So the length is on 1, I think. And the reverb is very, very low. And then I press saved. So a function, yes. So I saved this pattern. And then I'm going to play around with it. Sorry. And then I will recall the previous state. And the other tracks are pretty ordinary samples, and I think I'm not really finished with this track because there are some percussion elements missing right now. But what I like is to play around with the hi-hats. I did this some minutes ago. And I usually have super short hi-hats, but sometimes I like to open them up. or I can make them super long. So yes, you see that there's a lot of tricks to fill, and maybe let's play around with something. But I don't know if you know this feeling. You really want to to do something to get it even better, but you have the feeling it's done. So this track is for me finished. I developed this pattern in maybe 1.5 hours or so, and to me it's like finished. So maybe I'm not going to do more with it. So guys, what are you talking about here? No, he's not singing. Yeah, that's royalty free. Yes, you could also. Hey, Jasper, I didn't say hello to you. Nice to see you, Jasper. You're right. You could also choose. You could also modify the attack time. Actually, you mean from this main stab, right? But the attack time is already pretty long. Because I wanted to give this like a little push feeling or something. Let's work on the drums.
Then we either call an
Okay, I want to add some percussion to the kick track, and I want to bring them in at a later point. So what I'm going to do is save first, and then I'm going to search for some toms or something. Yeah. And let's see. I think I have some minimal percussion. This is cool. This brings in a little more higher frequency to the whole drum tracks. I don't know why Electron is not able to bring an update for the Digitakt with a spectrum analysis. This would be so helpful to check if a sample is in the right frequency. This is something I always think when I work with the Digitakt. I really would like to see that, because it would make the whole mixing much more easier. But yeah, I think Digitakt is not really made for that. Maybe Octatrack has it. I don't know. Okay, let's search for a second sample. You see, my sample pool is more or less used for this project. Let's see this. No. Yes, you can change everything with, you can change more or less everything with the loopback. the standard LFO has only a couple of destinations. You have like the sample destinations, you have filter destinations, and the amplitude. And what you're talking about, Thierry, is the amplitude and the filter. And you can do that with the normal LFO, but you can do that with a loopback as well. So a loopback gives you much more possibilities, because you can modulate more or less every parameter of the Digitakt with the loopback. Yeah, I think so. Octatrack doesn't have that. Has that. Yeah, it's something I would really like to see, but there's a question. What is the advantage of the trigger length versus the envelope decay? I don't quite get that. That is a good question. I try to answer that. You want to know what the difference is or the advantage of the trigger length? Why I used it in this track is something I can't tell you. It just happened. The advantage is, to me, if you change this hold time, with the hold time, you can create drone sounds. I think this is what you're talking about, right? When you set this to note, so there's like a little note here, the sound will play as long as you press a key. But when you turn this to the left and this note disappears, the sound always plays once and it immediately goes away. Let me show you that with something. Not safe. Yes. Okay, so this is something I'm going to load. I'm going to load a chord sample. Okay, this is cool. That's a long sample. So if you're setting this to, let's say, 50, and you press this button, maybe it's too long. I have to do this shorter. You see this note plays once and then it's gone. When you set this to hold time note, it plays as long as you hold this trick. Well, I think I have to set this to loop. Yeah, I think this is not the best sample for it. So yeah, you see, and when I release, then it stops playing, and then it fades out with this decay time of 66. When I set this to 0, it immediately stops when I take away my finger. But when you set this to a shorter time, it only plays once in this with the setting you made with the hold time. So this is I think it's used mainly for creating like drone sounds or pet sounds. And this setting here is it doesn't affect the amplitude, it affects the time that you're pressing this, well, or the play time of the trick. It's two different things. You see, now I have this set to note, but the length of the trick is super short. But when I set it to 16, it plays like 16 tricks, still looping. So these are a little two different parameters in terms of usage. With hold set, you can set the length of the note with the length parameter. Yes, that's true. So yeah, this is This is what you do with those two parameters, actually. And I want to tell you something which is actually super cool. And Christoph told me about that. Christoph in the chat as well. That's really clever. And I think most of you guys didn't know that. So I want to share this trick with you. Let's say you have this sound and you made a repeating note with that, like this. So, okay, so now we're gonna add reverb, a lot of reverb to this. More. Okay. And now what I didn't know before is when you go to this pattern menu with the 3 dots and you go to the audio routing, then you press yes. That is a stupid effect now. Christoph, it disappeared suddenly. Did I do something wrong? Oh, that's so stupid. I wanted to show you something so cool. I have to turn off the global settings. Okay, sorry, I got it. So make sure that you turn off the global settings here. When you press yes, the other options disappear. And then you turn off the track that you are using to play. So I'm playing this on track number 6. I'm going into the pattern menu, selecting audio routing, and then I deselect track number 6. And what it does now, you will only hear the effects playing, the reverb. And this is cool because you can create like a much more subtle sound because it only plays the reverb or the effects and not the actual sound of this trick. And I think this is a very cool trick if you want to create atmosphere or something. I never heard of that trick before because I never go into this menu actually. I only use it for renaming. Maybe sometimes I rename my patterns. But this is a cool trick. And I'm pretty sure, Ihor, that this is available on the Octa track as well. I think you hear the difference, right? Yeah. So yeah, this is a trick I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, guys, I think I have to leave for tonight. This was a little shorter than usual, but I'm a little over the top with everything today, and I think I made it for tonight. Thank you everyone who was in the chat. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm going to eat like something that was created for me. Stay safe, guys. We see us in 2 weeks is my next live. It will be a little longer than tonight. On Saturday, I have a new jam on YouTube. I think it will be this track I'm creating currently. And yes, stay safe, have a good time, have a good weekend. I'm going to the mountains and I'm gonna take some super cool videos with my drone next week. And I might have a little birthday live next Saturday because next week is my birthday. Yoo-hoo! And I'm going to take the Digitakt into the mountains. And if there's a good connection and there's a good weather, I think I will do a little live stream that you can maybe enjoy, but I'm gonna announce it somewhere. If the weather is good, we are going to do something. Guys, thanks for watching. We see us soon. You're a super cool community. Thanks for joining. See you soon.